announcing, this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Is set to become mandatory in the UK. But what actually is a digital ID and how will we use it? This is what we know from the government so far. The Prime Minister says the scheme will help crack down on illegal working and modernise Britain. Digital IDs will be mandatory in order to work or to rent a home in the UK. You'll have it stored on your phone similar to a contactless card, and it will include your name, your date of birth, your nationality or residence status, and your photo. Other countries already use digital IDs like Greece and Singapore. However, we still don't know if this type of ID will be used to verify your age, to do things like buy alcohol, or to get you into a club. But what about people who don't have smartphones? Well, the government has said that it wants to ensure that the scheme will work for people who aren't able to use a smartphone, and it will be launching a consultation on how the scheme will be delivered later this year. That's expected to last 3 months, and even though we don't have an exact date yet for when the scheme will start, it's expected to be introduced into Parliament early next year.
Shalom, shalom to the house of Israel. I'm your brother Abaniah of the South Arm of the Great Millstone Camp. Heralds of Yahushai coming to you with another lesson to the spirit.
This government will make a new free
of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Before we delve into the lesson, we take this time to give all honor, all glory, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Harukakodash. Double honors to the apostles, prophets, and teachers of Great Millstone, our spiritual fathers who rule well, teach well. Peace and salutations to the sincere Akim and Akwath who follow the truth in all diligence and all sincerity. Now the title of the lesson, We Told You So. We told you so, beginning with our apostles who for years have been telling you that the governments of the day are going to introduce mandatory identification, digital ID. Now, we have constantly told you for years that the eventuality of them having a microchip and you have to implant it in your body. Now, what was the selling point for the microchip? That you can lose your wallet, someone can hack your information, all these different things. So, in order to protect these personal information, having the RFID chip would become necessary because you carry it with you wherever you go. You don't have to worry about losing your keys, losing your wallet, or anybody stealing your information because you have your information directly with you, right? So this is the selling point they have been selling in regards to trying to convince persons to go the way of having the chip implanted. Now it's a build-up. Now, this is the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Starmer, who wants to introduce mandatory, meaning you have no choice, mandatory digital ID. And you have to carry it on your phone. Now, let me tell you something. This is just another stepping stone leading to the forceful implementation of the RFID chip. Because the selling point, as I said, is the protection of your information. We all know your phone can be stolen. We all know that. Phones are stolen, phones are lost. Right? Phones are stolen, phones are lost. Right? So you're still at risk of your supposed information falling into the wrong hands. And this is just to get the people to get on board. We see when they get you on board, they could keep going in the phases of their plan. And that's how they're going to tell you, hey, it's not safe carrying it around on your phone because people could hack your phone, persons losing their phone, persons having their phone stolen, and thus the information and what have you. We need to step it up to something a little more secure. And this is what it's leading to, people. We told you so. The prophets of Great Millstone have been telling you that for years. This is Amos 3 and verse 7. It says, surely Yahweh power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So everything that the prophets told you came as a direct result of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua revealing it to them. Whether you choose to believe it or not is of no consequence to us. We're going to tell you it regardless. Scripture said if you fail to warn the wicked and the wicked die in his sin, then his blood will be required at your hands. And we looking to deliver our souls. Because the scripture says if you warn the wicked and the wicked take not heed and he die in his sins, then his blood be upon his own head and you have delivered your soul. So we're going to tell all you regardless if all you want to believe it or not. Yahweh have revealed the mystery to his servants, the prophets. Right? Let's get to Revelation chapter 13. Let's go there. Because notice he said, without the digital ID, you will not be able to work. You will not be able to do certain things. And he claimed it's a way to crack down on immigrants. You know, leave it to Esau to call everybody immigrants and illegals when he's the biggest immigrant and illegal on the face of the earth. He's like a dog without a bone. This is Revelation 13. I'm going to read from verse 11 to verse 18. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And when you go back to Daniel, beast was a reference to what? Kingdom. So kingdoms. So each kingdom was represented by a specific beast or a unique type of beast. Those beasts were not the same, right? And I beheld another beast, which is a kingdom, coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So this kingdom that coming up is going to feign the innocence of a lamb. When you see a lamb, you're not going to see a lamb. Nobody sees a lamb as dangerous. Nobody sees a lamb as something to be feared, right? But what's going to make this particular lamb fearful, in spite of his innocent look? He spoke as a dragon. He sounded fierce. That is something that if you saw a lamb, and that lamb speak with a deep, freaking kind of weird, demonic type of voice, you're going to run. Because you know no lamb, no real lamb going to sound like that. Right? It says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. Right? That what was the first beast before this lamb-like beast? The beast that represented the Roman Empire. Look at the history and how the Roman Empire ruled. And scripture said he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he make fire come down from the heaven on the earth in the sight of men. How did he accomplish that miracle of bringing fire down on the earth? By the dropping of his nuclear arsenal, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That is when the earth really truly took notice and became fearful. Right? And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live. What was the image they made? A lot of you people think it was a statue. No, it's not a damn statue. It's a system of governance. Just as how ancient Rome governed their territories, right? And by the imposing of their harsh laws, so too will this beast rule. Salakia, and to pause for a minute. It's a system, the style of governance, the unjust laws and rules that they pass. That is the image. So this new kingdom is going to be moving, operating just as the ancient Roman Empire did. That's the image, right? It's going to be a direct look-alike of reflection of that first beast. It says, and cause it that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. A lot of you think worship is simply you going down on your hands and knees and singing praises. Worship is also your allegiance given. Whatever you give your allegiance to, you worship it. We give our allegiance to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, so everything we do reflects that. Worship is not just you singing songs and praises and clapping your hands and going down on your knees. It's whom you give your allegiance, your loyalty to, right? So persons are going to be killed for failing to swear their allegiance or their fealty to this particular system, right? And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This is the places they're looking to put the chip. We already have the brain chips already, and it has been implanted in persons already. We have the chip in the hand. Now, a lot of you try to get hung up on the fact it says right hand. So it has to be in your literal right hand. Everybody on the earth is not a right-hander. Everyone on the earth is not a right-hander. And people tend to carry out tasks using their dominant hand. So if I'm a left-hander, I would have the chip implanted in my left hand because that's my dominant hand. And vice versa, right? That right hand is symbolic of your ability to carry out or to do things. That's all it means. It's not speaking literally to it being your right hand, right? So these things are going to be implanted. The eventuality of this system that is being proposed and looking to be passed in the British Parliament by Starmer is leading to this inevitable conclusion, the forceful implementation of placing a chip in your body. It says, and no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So this system is being implemented by men. Who are the men leading the way for this? The wicked of the earth known as Esau, Edom. And look at him. It's an Edomite. For those of you who talking about they are Japhet, there is no prophecy in the Bible of Japhet ruling the earth in the end days. Just before Yahweh Shai makes his appearance. There is zero prophecy. You want to know when Japhet ruled the earth? At the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. Those were the times when Japhet ruled the earth. There is no prophecy, I repeat, of Japhet ruling the earth in the latter days or the end times. So this so-called whitey man, which is Esau Edom, he is not Japhet. And you people could disagree all you want. The time is coming ever so close. You people are going to be kicking yourselves for not listening to the prophets. Let's get Revelation chapter 16. Bear with me. Revelation chapter 15. Revelation chapter 16 verses 1 and 2. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of power upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them that worship his image. Now, when you look, many persons don't understand what this means. Think about it. It's a piece of technology that they're going to place in your body. So every bit of technology needs a power source. And every power source must have the ability to be recharged so it can continually run perpetually. Your body is going to provide the charging source, or is going to be the charging source for this particular technology. But this technology is going to be built with the same components that reside in your phone, your smartphone, your smartwatch, which would be lithium. Lithium have been found or known to hold charge, electrical charge, for a great period of time, right? So as a result, they're going to be using lithium in that particular technology. Now let me tell you something in case you people don't understand. You do not need a large quantity of lithium to poison your body. Look at mercury. We all know what mercury is. A drop of mercury entering your bloodstream is enough to unalive you, to cause painful symptoms, cause you to be in great agony, and then you be unalive from its effect because it's highly toxic. Lithium is no different. These things eventually going to have a breakdown in your body, and it's going to poison your body. So the angel of the Lord is going to cause that to happen, because the scripture talk about spirits created for vengeance. Angels carry out the vengeance of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And this is something that is going to come to pass as prophesied. Let's get Revelations 18, verses 10 to 13. I want to show you this, because all the people not understanding, you have been made into merchandise. Revelation chapter 18, verses 10 to 13. Right? It says, standing afar off for the fear of a torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. I want all you to understand there is a three-part system to this beast system. We have the military arm, the financial arm, and the religious arm. The military arm of this system, it would be the Americans, America. They are the military arm of the beast. The financial arm of the beast is Great Britain. This is why Starmer is saying what he is saying, to put mandatory digital IDs to be able to work. Remember, when you work, you receive a what? A wage. That's financial. So they control the financial arm of this beast. And the religious arm is controlled by who? The Vatican. So this is your beast system. Right? Continuing on, it says, and all the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all the thyine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. When you people take that, you have willingly done what? Sold yourself to the system. You have pledged your allegiance to the beast. Now, you people are going to think that's a far stretch. And we understand. If you were not given the spirit to understand what is being taught, it's going to sound far-fetched to you. But the prophets of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, we know Scripture said the end was made known at the beginning. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has revealed the secrets to his servants, the prophets. So it's not by coincidence these people are seeking to implement what we have been warning you about for years. Let's get Micah chapter 2. Right? To be able to have such a grip on power and to control the masses, you need, there has to be a specific people ruling who has the military might and the economic might and the means to force their agenda on people. And you're seeing it. These are the people that run the earth. These are the people who tout themselves as the most intelligent, and it's their God-given right to lead the nations of the earth. This is Micah chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. It says, "Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands." Japhet na ruler. Japhet had no power on the earth to implement this. Verse 2, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." What are they looking to take away from you? Your freedom of choice. They want to tell you what to do, when to do it, how it should be done. So your supposed liberties and freedoms that was guaranteed protection under their various constitutions, you realize the Constitution was a farce. It was a lie. It was a means to keep you docile while they implement their plans from behind the scenes. They are the ones creating the problems in the earth, manufacturing the problems, and then arriving with the solutions. This is what is going on. And you people are too blind that you're not seeing it. They hold the power to do so, to affect the earth on such a large scale. Right? It says, "Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil." Who is that family? Family of Esau Edom. "I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks." There is no salvation for Esau Edom. He cannot be saved. The judgment cannot be overturned. It cannot be rescinded. There is no escape clause. For all of you teaching salvation for all, it says, "Neither shall he go haughtily, for this time is evil." Scripture tell you the devil is as a roaring lion walking about seeking whom he may devour. Scripture tell us we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Most of you are looking for a spiritual being. A spiritual being who is going to come in the form of a particular individual you call the Antichrist. But little do you know that Satan is speaking about a nation of people. Satan means adversary. There's an adversary to the children of Israel on the earth. The main adversary is Esau Edom. I'm looking for a precept here in Revelations, right? Just give me it. Anyway, it says, "And the devil shall cast some of you into prison." Now, a lot of you of the belief that the spiritual being Satan is going to come down and cast you people into prison. That's stupid. There is a physical counterpart to Satan on the earth, and that is Esau Edom. He is the one who is going to be casting you people into prison for failure to follow his laws and to obey his decrees. Right? He is the one going to be doing that. Give me a second, Salakia. Right. Revelation chapter 2 verse 10, it says, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You people thinking is a literal spiritual being, Satan, casting you into prison. What a simplistic understanding. Let's get Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah chapter 30, and we're going to read from verses 1 to 7. Isaiah chapter 30, verses 1 to 7. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. We're going to have a lot of our people going to consent to the system and going to receive their mark. It says, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth. How have they not asked at their mouth? Who's the Lord mouthpiece on the earth? The prophets. They were not seeking nor listening to the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. The modern day Pharaoh is who? Esau Edom. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. We know Isaiah was not speaking about ancient Egypt, which was already destroyed. Egypt was no longer a power on the earth. He's not speaking about ancient Egypt. This is future prophecy spoken through similitude. It says, for his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be a help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. So our people no longer trusted in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They no longer wanted to be called Israel. This is why when you go to Maccabees, you saw we had Israelites who desired to be called Greeks. They wanted the glory of the Greeks. They no longer wanted to follow their custom. They no longer wanted to be known as Israelites. Right? It said, the burden of the beasts of the south in the land of trouble and anguish, from whence came the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. You people are giving all your allegiance and your all to a people who don't have your best interests at heart, who desire is to wipe you off the face of the earth. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. All the help that they think they're going to receive from these people are going to amount to nothing. It's going to benefit you nothing. This is Isaiah 31, reading from verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not God. Their horses flesh, and not spirit. This is why the mark of the beast cannot be spiritual. It is physical. Because the Egyptians are men, their horses are flesh. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is holpen shall fall down, and they shall fail together. This whole system is going to fail. But right now, they have been given the power by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to do what? To rule and to govern the people with an iron hand. This is why he said it's going to be mandatory. You have no choice. The freedom of choice, even Esau know the freedom of choice is an illusion. Let's get Habakkuk. This is our last precept, chapter 2, verses, we're going to read from 1 to 3. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write down the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. We, the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, starting with our beloved elders, have been sounding the alarm, warning you of the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, which was eventually going to be brought on the world stage as a mandatory means to work. A mandatory means for you to get hospital care. Everything you need to do, you cannot do it unless you have the RFID chip. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I'm your brother Abaniah of the South Arm of the Great Millstone Camp, Heralds of Yahushai, saying Shalom, Labakariam, and Abad Babal. See you for the next live lesson.